Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode on No, but seriously, let me explain. Hosted by the beautiful, intelligent Earth Angel Lala Davi. This podcast was designed to provide detailed business advice, next level resources, personal credit tips, and relatable relationship knowledge. Be sure to bookmark this page and subscribe because we wouldn't want you to miss any valuable content. And if you're struggling with poor credit, don't even worry about it. Just text Help My Credit to 507-400-3426. That's 507-400-3426. We have live agents standing by to cater to all your service requests. And now that that's out the way, let's make room for what the host has to say. Lala Davi, do your thing, girl.
Welcome to No, but seriously, let me explain. This phenomenal podcast series will keep you fully engaged with all the tips and tricks you need to be successful, while also providing you with plenty of flavor. I am your host, Lala Davi, and today we will discuss living abroad. Are you ready to take the leap and become an expat? No, but seriously, let me explain. Have you ever considered the idea of becoming an expat? Living abroad can definitely have many exciting and life-changing experiences associated with it. However, before you make that move, there are many different factors that you need to consider. From navigating a new culture to finding a place to live, the journey of becoming an expat, it really requires careful planning and definitely preparing for this. Like, you have to take some type of preparation and set that aside and draw up a plan before you get there. And one of the biggest challenges of living abroad is really just adjusting to the new environment. You may experience a culture shock of some sort or homesickness, and it can really be difficult to make new friends. However, with an open mind and the willingness to learn, you can definitely overcome some of these challenges and thrive in your new home. Let me explain. If you're on the verge of considering to be an expat or you're looking to do that, it's important to consider finding a place to live. And depending on where you're moving, housing options may be limited or they may be expensive. So definitely weigh the pros and cons there. It's important to research the housing market and make sure you find a place that meets your needs and your budget, because becoming an expat, it also means navigating a new healthcare system and figuring out the transportation in that new region and that culture that you're experiencing. And then even potentially having some type of new learning language barrier to overcome. So these things, it could be a little bit overwhelming at first, especially if you don't know. But with the right resources and support, you can definitely successfully navigate these challenges. At the end of the day, becoming an expat is a unique and rewarding experience, in my opinion. It can really just broaden your horizons and change your lifestyle overall. With careful planning and the willingness to embrace the new challenges, you can embark on a new journey in this lifetime. I understand that some people might feel as though there's no difference in, really being an expat or becoming an immigrant. However, I want to tell you there is a difference between the two, between an expat and an immigrant. Like, an immigrant is someone who moves permanently from one country to another, okay? And while an expat is someone who really lives temporarily in another country for work reasons or for other reasons, whatever that may be. But you do have to know that with both of these options, you have pros and cons on both of them. Immigration, and when you immigrate to like a new country, okay, we're just going to give that example first. It can be exciting, but it could also be difficult to adjust to this new culture, the new language, and a new way of life. And then they have these immigration policies that could also be very complex and very restrictive. And this might make it somewhat challenging to obtain some type of visa or citizenship, with these immigration policies in place. On the other hand, living as an expat can be a great way to experience a new culture, learn new skills while maintaining ties in your home country. Like, there are many jobs that are ideal for expats, such as teaching. We can go over and teach English, of course, if our grammar is, really good and up to par. You can't be speaking on a third grade level and expect to be an English teacher in another country. No. You could also choose to work in international businesses, of course, or just do some type of serving as a consultant, in a sense, for a multinational company. Like, whatever your skill sets are, you have to apply those in ways that will be beneficial to you in the long run. Like, I see a lot of the times people over in other countries, they'll post little gig ads up on Fiverr, of course. I'm really known for hiring somebody over in Pakistan to do some work for me, and this is one way that they're able to outsource their services and their skills and abilities. And you may want to look at this as well. Fiverr.com, you can definitely go there and upload your price list and any services that you may offer. Just go through the list. Like, they do graphic design, from writing to, music management. Whatever your skill set is, you can definitely utilize it or just basically place it on this site so that you can get more customers, more clients, however you categorize them, and just continue to build your revenue while you're, overseas and not in your home country. Just know, when it comes to whatever skills you're having and whatever job you're choosing as an expat, just make sure you're considering things that are already skills that you possess and interests that you have. For example, if you enjoy teaching and you have a strong, command for English, teaching English as a foreign language would be a great option for you. Or if you have a lot of experience in the finance industry or in business, you can work for an international company, and that will be a good fit for you. Living abroad is definitely exciting as an expat and very adventurous, but it's important to always do your research and plan ahead. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, outside of your housing and transportation, you also need to avoid any cultural misunderstandings between the people that already live there. So you want to make sure that you're comprehending the culture and, you're adjusting to it without having to really do too many adjustments. Okay. I know you've heard of me use this term expat, but do you really, really understand the full meaning behind the word? Like, an expat is someone that lives in another country other than their native country, of course. And we all know that there are many countries where people can choose to become an expat depending on their interests and their job opportunities and lifestyle preferences. I know some of the expats, they typically choose Canada, that's one of the popular choices for expats because you really have like this high standard for living and good health care and a very welcoming culture. And to become an expat in Canada, you'll need to apply for a work permit or some type of study permit or just become a permanent resident of Canada. I also see expats choosing to move to Australia. Australia is known for its beautiful landscapes, of course, and the beaches and the warm climate. It's all nice. But you gotta understand that that's Australia too. You know, you gotta be aware that there's wildlife out there. So keep that in mind, okay? But if you want to become an expat in Australia, you'll pretty much need to apply for a visa or some type of working holiday visa or skilled worker visa of some sort. But when you apply, as I said before, keep in mind there's plenty of wild and deadly animals out there. So make sure you're just doing your homework on any of these countries, different countries that you're choosing. And another one that's at the top of the list for expats is the United Kingdom. Like, the United Kingdom has become very popular amongst expats because of its rich culture and its history and the job opportunities that are there. And I do have a friend that actually lives in UK, and they really do enjoy it. And to just become an expat in the UK, you'll definitely need a visa, work visa, student visa, some sort, work permit in that country, wherever you're choosing to move, of course. And this can involve filling out some forms and just providing some documentation, such as your passport or your proof of employment or proof of financial means. If it's, for that reason, like whatever the reason is, you just provide those documentation to apply for that visa. And you have to research the specific requirements for that country that you're interested in, just so you have like this smooth transition to your new home. Okay. So, your girl Lala, she always got stories on top of stories. I do want to tell you about this girl I know named Candace. Like, Candace, she's this very successful businesswoman. And she definitely had everything that she could want in her life. She had this thriving business, a loving family, and she had this very beautiful home. However, she felt like something was missing in her life. Like, she wanted to do something that was more meaningful and something that was definitely going to be impactful. So, let me tell you, one day, Candace, she decided to start this international business that focused on helping people in need. I mean, it's a great idea, in my opinion. She really poured her heart out and her soul into this business. Like, it quickly became a success. However, she realized that there was more that she could do to help people. So, Candace decided to become an expat and move to a country where she could really make a real difference. She packed up her life and she moved to this small village in Africa. There, she used her business skills to help the local community. She taught people how to start their own businesses. She provided resources to help them succeed and even help build a school. Like, Candace's decision to become an expat definitely wasn't an easy one. But I must say, it was the right one for her. Like, she found a sense of purpose and fulfillment that she never really experienced before. She really knew that she was making a difference in these people's lives by helping them. And To me, that was all that really mattered. If you feel like something is missing in your life, I would take a page out of Candace's book. Like, find something that you're really passionate about and just pour your heart and soul into that. Like, you never know where it's going to take you or the impact that you might have on the world by just doing this because you're so passionate about it. Like, some people choose to go the extra mile before really experiencing the real world. And it's important to consider that if you ever decide to become an expat, you want the luxury of being able to come back to a comfortable living situation as if you never left. Like, we can all really appreciate having that peace and contentment of just being able to live a life free from everyday stress. But what will it really take to accomplish this? If you decide that you prefer duality over a full leap of faith, then you might just want to consider an alternative approach before committing yourself to a whole nother country. Like, to me, this isn't considered to be financial advice, okay? So just take it as more of educational information for you, or education available to the wise, okay? But I do want to let you know that if you choose to become an expat and you want to have that flexibility to, come back to your home country, then you might want to consider protecting your property. And as education to the wise, protecting your property inside of a trust is a great way to keep it safe and secure. And what ways can I keep it safe and secure? Let me help you out. Let me explain. Be sure to listen to my podcast titled Safeguard Success under season 2 for more details on trust accounts. But for the sake of this discussion, I will go ahead and mention it briefly. You want to choose to create a trust account. Okay. You'll need a trust account that is managed by a trustee, of course. This could be someone that understands financial literacy or a professional trustee. Create that trust, and you'll need to create this trust using a document and basically transfer that property into that trust. And this can be done with the help of an attorney or a real estate professional. Then you'll need to maintain that trust. You'll need to make sure that that trust is properly funded and managed over time. This includes paying your fees and your taxes associated with the trust. Okay, you got that step. If you need more assistance on trust, setting it up, go back and listen to that podcast, Safeguard Success. You got it? Okay. Let's talk about the quiet title action for a second. This is pretty much a legal process that is used to clear up any disputes or claims to ownership of a property. And it allows you to really place that property into that trust account. So when you're creating or going through the steps of a quiet action, it's wise to hire an attorney, or you can step in and be the attorney yourself, attorney in fact. But you'll need somebody to help you with this if you're not familiar with it. They will review your case and file the necessary paperwork for you with the court. And that consists of filing a complaint. Your attorney or whoever's acting on your behalf will file a complaint in court stating that you're the rightful owner of that property and that there are no other claims to that property. Then a notice will be served. You will serve the notice to anyone who may have had any claim to that property. And this really includes any previous owners, lenders, or anyone that may have had any other interest in that particular property. Okay. Then you'll attend a hearing. In this hearing, you'll pretty much attend court and just present your case, have all your documents ready, provide your evidence, and let them know that you're the rightful owner. Obtain that court order. If the court agrees that you're the rightful owner, they will issue a court order stating that you have clear title to the property. And a lot of people really request the quiet title action because there are many questions or disputes about who really owns a piece of property, and a quiet title action is just that legal process that's going to help you to settle these disputes and give you the rightful owner, or give that rightful owner clear title to that property. And because of this type of dispute, the court will look at evidence and hear from all witnesses to decide who is the rightful owner. And once that dispute is settled, then you'll be able to enjoy it without any worries or any arguments. And the benefits of really completing this, it just really removes any clouds over the title of that property, which can really make it easier to sell or transfer ownership in my case. So if it can give you a peace of mind to know that you have ownership of that property and it's fully legally recognized, that's going to be a pat on your back, because protecting your property in a trust and completing a quiet action title are important steps to ensure that your property is safe and secure. If you have a balance, though, I know a lot of y'all may have some balances due on a loan. So in that case, you just might want to draft a negotiable instrument just to cover the full balance due, and then just send it to the loan servicing company. But remember, even though these processes and these steps might seem complicated, there are a lot of different professionals that are out there right now that will help you every step of the way. In all seriousness, are you really ready for an adventure of a lifetime? Like, do you want to explore new cultures, meet new friends, and just see the world? Then becoming an expat might be the perfect thing for you. To become an expat, you'll need just a few things, of course. Do a little research on that country you're interested in. Like, what culture do you really like? And what language do you speak? What kind of jobs might be available in that country? These are all things that you need to ask yourself. Once you figure that out, head on down to the visa line. Do this online. I have included some incredible links below on the countries that I have mentioned. All you need to do is fill out the simple visa application. This is just a special document that's going to allow you to stay in that foreign country. You want to keep your foreign status, right? Okay. So it will be available for a certain amount of time when you do apply for that visa. And to really get that visa, all you need to do is fill out some simple paperwork and provide some basic information. Just like getting your passport and any proof of any financial means, you have to provide some personal information. We all know that, of course. However, once you have your visa, it is time to pack your bags and start your adventure. Yes, honey. You get to try some new foods. You get to learn some new words. And yes, of course, you making new friends. We seeing the world, baby. Yes, yes. And who knows? You might just find your new boo. And you might find your new favorite place in the world to be. We don't know. Get out there and live a little. Becoming an expat is a big decision. So allow it to be fun and exciting in ways of just seeing and exploring new things. So why not give it a try? Who knows? This might be a different type of amazing just for you. So step right in. So I have spoke all about becoming an expat. Like, you got the different locations. You could always Google and look up and research the location you're interested in. But we know that everything is going to be a breath of fresh air, because why? You're experiencing a new culture, you're broadening your horizons, you're learning a new language, and communication skills is improving. So yes, it's a benefit for you. Like, expand your professional network and your career opportunities. Develop this personal resilience and problem-solving skills. And then just create this unforgettable moment, and lots of memories that really enrich your life. You may be able to earn a higher salary or even enjoy a lower cost of living altogether. I've definitely heard from some friends that live currently in, the Latin America regions, like the Latinos and the expats that are living out there. They're more open and warm and welcoming to people in the U.S. Like Latinos are culturally inclined to be a lot friendlier, and expats, they're often meeting new people since they really don't have a large network. And the regulations and rules are not always enforced strictly in Latin America. So if you're one of those free spirit people and you like to ride motorcycles, if you decide to ride a motorcycle out there without a helmet, or drive crazy, or sell some food that you made out of your kitchen, you could totally do that. Like, I know a lot of people out here in the U.S. and Atlanta mainly, like, they love to sell plates of food. So you'll totally fit right in. Like, to me, like, that's a win-win. Like, you'll be able to do something that you're good at, and coming to a new country selling American food, like, that could be a win for you. However, it's important to look after your own safety. Like, this relaxed attitude generally means that you have more freedom. Yes. And that could be a great thing, like being able to do whatever you want. I mean, of course, you still have to abide by the rules. You can't be just out there committing crime or nothing crazy. So don't be out there foolish, people, okay? Okay. So my thing is, in the Latin American regions, you'll see a lot of infrastructure, such as the buildings and the signs and the roads. They might look a little rougher around the edges out there, but it could also feel somewhat refreshing with the chaos, and the disorganized feeling, like with the buildings looking like they're gonna, toss over with a couple storms or not. But Colombian and Mexican towns, they do have like this really nice, unique character. Unlike American towns in the U.S., you can really drive thousands of miles and see the same people, listening to the same music and eating the same crazy food and just driving on the roads real crazy, blowing rude at everybody, just road rage, I would say. Yes, road rage. But places in Latin America, on the other hand, feel more distinct. And each town has its own unique charm and character. So definitely do your research and let me know what you decide. I'm always interested to hear all about y'all stories. And if you're currently living as an expat, make sure you call us right now, 404-590-8078. Again, that number is 404-590-8078. We have come to a very short commercial break paid for by our lovely sponsors, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this message.
Yeah, what up, ATL? Look, you ballin', you bad and bougie with bad credit. That's most of y'all. But look, man, that's why y'all need to call my people at Exchange Credit Repair. That's right, Exchange Credit Repair will help you squad them inquiries, get rid of them collections and bankruptcy. They'll even take child support off. I didn't even know they put child support on credit. Woo-wee! And boost your credit score. Let's get that credit score where you want so you can go get what you want. And if you mention Street 945, you get a 35% discount. So call my people right now at 678-420-5553. 678-420-5553. 553 or visit my people at exchangecreditrepair.info. Exchange Credit Repair is a credit counseling business with experienced credit repair experts standing by to assist you right now. When I made this deal with them, I say, look here, you ain't got to pay me for the commercial. Just put my credit score where I want so I can go get what I want. When I went to them, they treated me like family. My privacy was all the way respected. They quick to fight for a client's right with the Bureau of Credit, creditors, and debt collectors. Conveniently located at 1 West Court Square in Decatur. Tell them Shout sent you.
Welcome back. So, in my humble opinion, being an expat really requires certain admirable characteristics and traits such as tolerance and flexibility and the willingness to just step outside of your comfort zone, curiosity, and most importantly, humility. It's important to avoid assuming that your home country is the best without first exploring as much as, 2/3 of the world, or much as the world as possible, I would say. Living somewhere and visiting somewhere are two different experiences altogether. For instance, being stuck in traffic in India as a tourist might just be another crazy story to tell somebody at home. But being stuck in some traffic when you're late for work or you're having to meet with some investors can be very stressful. So, when you're selecting your new home country, you have to fully accept your new home country as it is something that's now a part of you. And don't try to change that. Every place comes with a plus side, and it also has some quirks to it. As long as you accept the quirks, and that could be the things that are just downright unpleasant, you have to really just avoid the this and that and this is so much better at home type of mindset and mentality. You want to leave that all alone, okay? Because that type of mentality will definitely trap you into a pitfall. And many expats fall into, a nice, enjoyable lifestyle without all the extra thought process. It's good to understand that it's you that needs to change and not really your new country or the people. If something seems utterly just unbearable, like for instance, you might experience these long fiestas in Southern Europe or in Latin America, etc. And you have to accept the reality and figure out a way to adapt to it. If that's the culture and the country you're choosing to live in. And if you have chosen a country where there's a language barrier, learn the language, please, okay? Like, don't be just out there pointing to stuff looking crazy. I can't stress this enough. If you live in a foreign country and you don't speak the language, then it's going to be a lot harder to really communicate, and majority of that population speaks the language. So you'll never really be considered a local there. Learning that new language isn't always an easy task, but it really does get a lot more easier with a lot of practice. Okay, practice don't make perfect, but it does make you a lot better. You'll get to add a new language to your belt, your piggy bank of life, of course. And you'll never know when you'll need it in the future or when it might just come in handy. So, whether you're choosing to emigrate or live abroad as an expat, it's important to consider the pros and cons of each option. But it is also going to come with challenges and sacrifices. Ultimately, it is up to the individual to weigh the benefits and the drawbacks and just decide if becoming an expat is the right choice for them. And remember, no matter where you go, there's always going to be something new to learn and something new to discover. We are coming to the end of the show, and I really hope that you have enjoyed this episode. If you have any comments or questions, don't hesitate to share them. And if you have any additional advice, we'd definitely love to hear it over at goasklala.com. We're always open and appreciative to any of our incredible listeners and always open to feedback. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as you don't want to miss out on any exciting content coming your way. You can download the episodes by clicking on the arrow at the very top of the screen and saving this episode for easily listening. Also, I want to give much love and send big thanks for tuning into No, But Seriously, Let Me Explain. I am your phenomenal host, Lala Davi, and you know I got all the sauce. I'll see you again next week with more content for you. So until then, stay bold, beautiful, and brilliant. Love ya.